Welcome Aries to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 23rd of October for the Sun or the Ascendant. Late last week, the fleet-footed messenger arrived in the sign of Scorpio. It's really donning its detective mac. It's not so much concerned with what people are saying as what they really mean, so understanding the subtext, but is joined on Monday by the Sun. So we're really getting into Scorpio season in a big way. The Sun will be here for 4 weeks, but your ruler, Mars, is also in the sign of Scorpio and is also the traditional ruler of this sign. Now at the start of the week, it's the Sun and Mercury that are still very close together. If you recall, they came together in an exact conjunction, a cazimi, last Friday, but that was the conversation because that was an air sign, Libra, which can be about relating but also boundaries. This week it's much more of understanding the real meaning behind that dialogue. Now if you're lucky enough to be getting to know someone and it's going pretty well, this could be a week when things get quite raunchy, and it may be that both sides are perfectly happy with that arrangement. But it's also possible that if you're not in a relationship, you're yearning to have a deeper connection or more intimacy in your situation is definitely going to be ramped up, not least by the fact that we do have the partial lunar eclipse in the sensuous sign of Taurus on Saturday, which is going to be reflecting back across the heavens towards the Sun and also Mercury and Mars. Now, of course, Jupiter, the planet of growth, is in a retrograde in your second house, will be through to the end of the year. So I feel it's a week where impulses of all kinds, whether it is to do with that sexual dimension or it is to do with the more spiritual and emotional dimension of a relationship, where we're just feeling that we want to be more devoted and invested, or it is to do with business. Commerce, the 8th house, can be very much to do with entrepreneurship. So if you're wanting to take your resources, whatever they are, and squeeze a bit more out of them, there's a sense of daring do around this week's events. But as we get to the end of the week, there's also a polarity between the energy of Taurus, which of course is fixed and pretty stable. The energy of Scorpio is fixed, but because of the energy of the modern ruler of Pluto, it is very much to do with transformation. So things can go on for some while and then suddenly a big shift can occur. So maybe in your situation you may find yourself much more ruled by your desires this week, much more ruled by impulse, whether it's splashing out on some Christmas presents, might be a little bit early for some, or you want to give yourself some kind of treat, or it could be that you want to marshal those resources a little bit more astutely, or you may want to speak to a financial advisor, look at your pension, think about property matters. But whatever you do, there is going to be the potential for a sense of drama. And one of the things about Aries people, I feel, is that you can have a little bit of a low attention span. So if things aren't really bubbling away in your situation, sometimes, not all the time, you may be tempted to be a bit more provocative just to get a reaction, and that could happen this week. And if someone has been resisting your viewpoints or understanding the deeper part of where you're coming from, you could show your frustration much more forcefully this week. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. When Mars and Jupiter are in opposition, it actually gives us more confidence to take a little bit of a walk on the wild side, but just be aware of Jupiter's retrograde. But despite that, it is still in contact with Venus over the first 2 days of this week, and on Monday it's exactly at its peak. So that really is one of the luckiest of all planetary influences. So I feel that something really good can happen around resources. Maybe it could be a little bit of a flutter. Maybe it's going to be finding some money in a jacket and a wardrobe. Maybe it's realizing that maybe you've got a little bit less to pay on a loan than you thought it was, or some kind of payout will come to you that's a little bit more generous than was hoped. But if none of those things happen, I think The one thing you will want to do this week is create some action, some excitement, because you need to feel alive. So if you are single and there is somebody that you're attracted to, but they've not made a move, this set of influences could give you a bit of a shove to just test yourself out. Whether any kind of interest in another person will be received favourably or reciprocated, that's not really the issue. I feel that the compulsion is going to be much stronger this week around anything that you feel passionate about. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you so much for joining me. You can get your daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning by clicking on the link beneath this video, or you can check out your year 24 personal forecast in my special package by seeing the link below too. Thank you.